If you imagine standing on top of Aoraki and the whole of the South Island is blanketed in clouds beneath, it's similar to that when we look into the marine environment and try to look beneath the waves.
When I first heard that LINs were going to be hydrographically mapping for navigational purposes around the peninsula, that led to a discussion with DOC around mapping the seafloor of the harbour, which obviously would give us some information that might help with how we better look after the whenua that surrounds our moana. It was really an opportunity of a lifetime for Ōnuku.
We first met with LINs in Akaroa with the Department of Conservation and ECAN, and we had discussions about extending the mapping that they had been doing within Akaroa Harbour.
LINs were planning to use multi-beam sonar to map a huge area of Banks Peninsula's seafloor, and I remember the email because it just said something like, "What an opportunity."
In the university, we're always on the lookout for opportunities to apply our science and apply the work that we're doing, and this was a fantastic opportunity.
Our tipuna learnt a lot through observation. All of the things which grow and used to flourish in this area, they were aware of them.
What happens in regards to mahinga kai is incredibly important to us, knowing what's actually happening under the moana. We haven't had this data that could actually pinpoint what we need to do, where we need to do it.
We were tasked with being the science providers in this project, sitting down with all of the partners of the project to understand what their needs were and what they wanted to get out of the collaboration.
Better marine conservation really relies on improving our understanding of what we have out here in the moana, where it is, and how it links to not only what we're doing in the water, but also what's happening on the land. And Iongairo is about all of those things.
Coastal marine ecosystems are really under a lot of pressure. For us to have a better understanding of what actually lies beneath the waves, it really helps us to be able to make much more informed decisions about the impacts of those various activities on those coastal ecosystems.
For the very first time, we have this incredibly rich data set that is going to help our scientists, our planners, actually understand the impact of certain activities. They'll be basing their decisions on really, really good science.
To be able to see around here, to see that there are places where they're still thriving and still doing well, is hopefully motivation for all of us to find ways to protect them and make them as resilient as we can for things like climate change in the future.
This data really forms the basis of how decisions are made. So it's about understanding what impacts are going on in the marine environment, what some of the threats are that need to be managed. We can start to bring in new data sets. We can include things like climate variability. We can start to make some predictions around that work, which is really exciting.
This project really is just the beginning of starting to unlock some of the information that we can glean from the connections between the land and the sea. And from understanding those habitats, we can get a better sense of the types of animals that live there and what sort of impacts various activities may have on them.
This project utilised some of that really high-tech information to be able to explore beneath the water in a way that's never been done before. And I'm really excited about the opportunity to take all of that we've learned, the things that were tried, the things that worked, the things that didn't work, and really be able to undertake some really important and innovative research into the future.
We can't manage these systems at a tens of kilometre sort of scale. We need to be thinking about a reef by reef scale, and what we've proven in this project is that that can be done.
All of that information is going to be extremely helpful, and so building that knowledge, so we become experts in our rohe moana alongside our partners. So we want to build our knowledge and our scientific understanding alongside the mātauranga.
I have to say, in the past we've been happy to take from our moana, and we're in a generation now where we think it's time that we gave back. And this particular project has been a catalyst and the beginning point of that for us.
Iongairo is about partnership and working together. I think we think that better marine conservation will also come from working together in new ways and in better ways.
We've been able to work with some incredible science partners, with our rūnanga partners and with the Department of Conservation to really pull together information that is important to all of those people and all of those agencies. It was really comforting to know that actually everybody wanted the same outcome from this work.
This is really an example of the way that I think that coastal management needs to head, is that we have multiple groups, multiple partners who all have interest in this coastal space sitting down together in the same room, coming to an agreement. What we were able to achieve with having all of these partners on board was greater than what we could have achieved on our own.
So you've got the university as a research provider, you've got Rūnanga, you've got the Department of Conservation, you've got ECAN, all working collaboratively.
I'm really proud of the way that we've genuinely worked together in this project. It's been hugely enriching to learn more about Te Ao Māori perspectives, and by bringing that holistic view together, the outcomes are far greater from this work than any one agency could deliver on their own.
To do something meaningful in partnership is, incredibly important for us. That relationship that developed over the 2 years of the project has been amazing for us here at Iongairo. Our whānau have been able to share in the progress of the Iongairo project all the way and be part of what we think is a pretty special and unique opportunity for us. And it's great to see Mātauranga Māori and Western science working together to create an outcome that can benefit the generations that follow us.
Exposure and the opportunities that Iongairo presents going into the future is what I hope will kindle our rangatahi's interest. People want to go and engage in their rohi moana. They want to engage in their whenua. And by doing that and observing what's going on and learning to be part of it, then the next step is delving deeper into the mātauranga, delving deeper into the science. They're not mutually exclusive.
This will be an example to a lot of other areas in the country that are looking to advance how they map and monitor and understand their coastal environment, as well as the interaction with the terrestrial environment. There's this abundance of data that's sitting there waiting to be tapped into, and if we can keep moving around the peninsula, it'll benefit the Banks Peninsula region as a whole.
I heard a whakatauki recently that I thought fitted the project quite well. Toitu te marae a tānei, toitu te marae a Tangaroa, toitu te iwi. If the land is well and the sea is well, then the people will thrive. Mauri ora.